Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this amazing, awesome, ultimate survival treehouse. This treehouse features two unique ways to get up to the top of the base, one on the inside and one on the outside. You will, however, find that on the outside is the only way to access the secret back of the treehouse. Coming up the inside of the treehouse, we have access to a couple more chests than we might have had access to otherwise. We have an easy way to get up to the top of our treehouse, and when we do reach the top, we have plenty of room for crafting, smithing, we have plenty of smelting area, we have a nice little sleeping area as well. And if we do ascend all the way up into the top of the tree, we have access to an ender chest and a lot more space than we might have had previously. If you enjoy this tutorial, ladies and gentlemen, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button, as it helps me and the channel out so much. And if you make it all the way to the end, do me a favor, share the video with a friend. Sharing is caring. But without any further ado, why don't I show you how to make this magnificent ultimate tree base. Before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, here are all of the materials that you are going to be needing. Please make sure that you have access to every single one of those, and not only that, please make sure that you can also get enough of them as well. This is roughly the amount of space that we need on the ground to make the treehouse. It's ever so slightly bigger than this, but not really, so that's why I'm not concerning you with measurements. I'm sure that you'll have enough space to build it, but a little bit bigger than that, an 8 block by an 8 block area will be plenty. So, once you've got all of that sorted out, pause the video if you have to, make sure that you have enough stuff, make sure that you have enough room to make it, and once you do have all of those things sorted out, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we build ourselves an awesome tree base? Our first step in building the tree house is going to be placing an oak wood on the ground. I want you to place an oak wood to the right of it. 2 oak wood backwards to the right. 1, 2. 1 behind. 2 back left oak wood. 1, 2. Go left 1. 2 front left oak woods. 1, 2. Go down 1. And a front right oak wood. The end result should be this circular shape. On top of this circle, I want you to place 16 additional layers of oak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And of course, I want you to place it upon every single oak wood. Something I often say whilst building tree houses is that if you would like this treehouse to be taller, that is absolutely no problem. However, for design purposes, I wouldn't make it too much smaller. You can, there is absolutely no problem in you doing that. It's your treehouse, your rules. However, it's gonna look perhaps a little bit weird and stretched out if you do make it too much smaller. However, completely up to you, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you feel is best. So, of course, if you want it bigger, you go higher than 16, and if you want it smaller, you would simply place less than 16 on top of all of your oak woods. Now that we have raised up the entire base of our treehouse, we can now do this. So I'm going to fill the middle of this in using oak wood slabs. This is going to be part of the interior for the treehouse. We now have a daunting task. We have to place a layer of oak wood slabs around the top of the oak woods at the top of the treehouse. These specific oak wood slabs want to go all the way around the top of the circular shape at the top of the treehouse. They also want to connect to each other on the corners. You'll end up with something that should look like this. But the issue here is you don't only just want to do that once, you want to do this 2 more times. So, using your oak wood slabs, remember where you started, make sure it's even going all the way around, and place 2 additional layers of oak wood slabs going around that first initial layer. You'll get the hang of this once you've done it more than once. Make sure that it's even going all the way around and then add an additional layer. I always start in the same place whenever I do this. It is easy to kind of forget a block somewhere, and then when you take a look at it, it looks a little bit wonky. However, once you've perfected the technique, it's a really easy way to make sure that you are evenly distributing a lot of material all the way around. Now, once you have placed your 3 layers of oak wood slabs, I want you to grab some stone slabs. This will be the final layer going all the way around the oak wood slabs. This is much easier because you can actually see where you have been with these stone slabs, which makes a lot of difference. It's really hard when you're using the same material, but when you're swapping material, oh, is it much easier. So simply place a layer of stone slabs going all the way around, like that. So now that we have created the platform for our treehouse, I now want us to build the house for our treehouse. It makes sense. Come all the way to the front side of your tree. We're looking at the trunk, so the oak woods that you can see in between the planks. I want you to take note of the front of your treehouse. This is the front of mine, and I want you to find this oak wood block. Going left of this, I want you to move left by not 1, but 2, so we're right here. Place 4 oak wood planks on top of this block. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want you to do this on the front right side as well. So in the same position on the right, leaving a gap of 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can even do this on the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. But what's also important is I want you to diagonally outwards from these 4 rows of 4, place more rows of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. Now, once you have done this, I want you to place on the front side, I want you to connect the middle pair of oak wood planks together, like this. I want you to place oak wood slabs connecting the outer pair together in front of the pair that you just connected together. Then I want you to place a double door. I want you to place a specifically I want you to place a double door right here, just behind the 2 oak woods. We're then going to place some glass block around the doors like this, on the left and right coming up to the top of the frame. And then we're going to place oak wood planks above those doors. And then I think that we're also going to add a little bit of stone brick slabs, just to kind of show where the entrance is. It just kind of highlights the area a little bit. So the back part of the house is actually a tad different. On the back part here, we are going to connect the upper pair of oak wood planks together in the middle, like this. And then we're going to place oak wood slabs in front of the top part like this. And then we're kind of just going to leave it. The reason being is because we also want to raise up all of the remaining oak woods upwards. we want to raise up the oak woods that we built into the platform as high as the top of where the treehouse is. We don't want to forget about them, so just raise them up as high. We will have to destroy some of these, but we are using some of the oak wood in the construction. When it comes to the back, I want you to raise up the oak woods so that they come up as high as the actual platform like this. So it looks as though the oak wood is like supporting the treehouse in a way. That's how the front differs from the back. What I also want to do, now that we have done this, you can see that we are making the frame of the treehouse quite nicely. I want us to add the two rooms on the left and right side of the house. So these are very easy to add. On the left side of the treehouse, we begin from this position behind the right front left pillar, and we place an oak plank. We go left of this by 3. 1, 2, 3. We raise up that third block by 2. 1, 2. We go right by 2. 1, 2. And then we connect down. And you know what, we're actually going to delete this block in the middle and we're going to place glass there instead. And we want to do the same on the back of the treehouse. So we want to take this block here and we want to place an oak plank, extend it right, up 2, right 2, down, and then fill in the middle using glass. So now you have the equivalent on both sides. You can join the front and the backs together using oak wood planks. When it comes to the opposite side, we want to do the same. So we take this corner, oak plank, extend out, up 2, right 2, down 2. Same on the back, extend, extend, up 2, left 2, down. And we join the front to the back using a series of oak wood planks. We place glass inside of the empty spaces like this, and we are left with a shape that should look like that. It looks a bit simple at the moment, and it is, but now what we're going to do is we are going to extend the oak woods that we have for the platform upwards. We're going to extend them upwards by an additional 3 rows. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, what's important for us is that we make the same shape coming out of the top of the treehouse as we have below it. So we want to create that same circle. That involves placing oak woods on top of these glass here, coming inwards diagonally, and then we join them together in the middle like this. And we do the same on the back. We simply extend up these two oak woods like this, and then that way, there we go, ladies and gentlemen, that way we have the tree poking up and outwards from the top of the build, which is very important. Okay, so now we have to concern ourselves with the roof of the treehouse. The roof of the treehouse is very simple. Grab stone brick slabs and head to the front left side of the middle of the treehouse. Take the oak wood plank that we have here and place a stone slab left of it. Extend forwards, right, up, right, up, right, up, right, up. Extend those 2 blocks each to the right, and then take the lower half of the right one and go right, down, right, down, right, down, right, like that. And then you can see the frame for the roof. We fill this middle section of the roof in here using oak wood planks. It should just take 4 oak wood planks. You can even do the same on the back, I believe. You can just take like the middle 2, extend left and right, and then all you would have to do is extend the stone brick slabs of the roof backwards and emulate what is done on the front. So we're essentially just stretching the roof all the way across the back. We're going to have these stone brick slabs extend down like this, connect together at the front. We're going to join these slabs front to back, just like this. Here we go. And we want to have the same on the front as well. We want the same on the front as we have on the back. And in doing it this way leaves a really natural feel, as though basically what someone has done is found a tree out in the wild and has built their house around it, which is the sort of feel that we're going for, right? So it looks very, very natural like this. But not only do we want to have this, but we want to do the same on the sides. We want to make little roofs. So if you start on the front here, and you place a row of stone brick slabs coming across the front of the left wing of the house, make sure it overhangs by one row, and then extend the stone brick slab inwards one, or back one, up, back, up, extend the entire block, the entire section across, take the lower half, extend back, down, back, extend across, and then we're going to extend every stone brick slab into the middle of the tree. The only thing that we will have to do after accomplishing this is we just have to add a little bit of oak wood plank onto the left part, so you can see how it connects together very, very naturally. You'll only have to add about 2 oak wood planks on the side, and that's how it will go. So why don't we also do it on this side also? Plank, plank, and then it's as simple as adding stone brick slabs in the same way. The middle of the roof is where the middle of the tree is, by the way. That might help you out. I'm not sure whether you realized it or not. You might not have even been thinking about it, but that's where the middle of the roof is. So that's why it's quite easy just to map it out and plan it out, because the roof flows very well with the tree, the house flows very well with the shape of the tree as well. Everything's kind of proportional. So that's why it's kind of like an easy house to build, or at least I hope it is anyway. So there you go, you can see the tree, or the house, is now built into the tree, and we'll clear out the house a little bit as well on a little bit later on. A small detail to add to the platform is adding oak fence on top of the stone slabs. This makes it look a bit more survivally. It contrasts nicely against the light grey of the stone slabs, and the oak colour just looks nice, and it just gives that more survival feel. At the moment, the house is feeling a bit cold, or at least I think so, and we're definitely going to be making that a lot better as we progress now. So the next thing that we're going to do is not the top of the tree, but we're going to build our way up to the top. First, we have to create an entrance into the trunk at the base of the tree. I want you to destroy enough space that you can place a double door in the front of the tree. The double door is to be placed backwards. The reason being is it now lines up quite well with the oak woods. You can even place glass above the entrance like this. We're now going to create, because there's 2 ways to get up into the treehouse. As a matter of fact, let me get rid of the stone slabs for a second. Let me grab ladders. There's 2 ways up to the top of the treehouse. Number 1, you can climb up your way up the trunk. So you can place a set of ladders that will take you all the way up to the top of the trunk in the tree. A double set of ladders is the easiest way. All you've got to do is obviously just climb them. A much cooler way, and you can, if you wanted to, you don't even have to include both ways up, you could have just one or the other. So, a set of ladders, obviously this will take us all the way up to the top of the tree. Once inside the tree, we can delete our way into the rooms to the side. You can even create more space in the roof. You know, you can delete as much of the oak wood as you like. And it's a nice little survival base. It's not the biggest, but it is a nice little survival base. You can even knock your way out onto the back balcony and use it as such. So, that's one way to get up to the tree, is a set of ladders all the way up the trunk. The more interesting way to get up to the top of the tree is using a series of oak wood slabs to create a winding platform to take us up to the top. If we use oak wood slabs and we begin in the front left corner of the tree where we have this little divot here, I want you to place an oak slab. Go left of it. And now I want to teach you the rules of how to make this platform. It's quite easy. On the sides of the platform as we're building it going around is when we increase the height of the platform. So we'll go up diagonally here on the side of the platform. On the corners, we place a layer of oak wood slabs that is flat. So you can see here, on the side, we go up diagonally. On the corners, on the sides we go up diagonally, and the corners it is flat. So on the back, diagonal, diagonal. And then we wrap around. Once we get to the side again, diagonal, diagonal. And then we wrap around. Diagonal, diagonal. So on and so forth. So, once we reach each side of the tree, we go up by pretty much a whole block. Pretty much how it works out. Like, you just jump up an entire block. This gives us a nice and consistent way to travel up the side of the tree. The path isn't too windy. It's a very gradual ascent. You're not going to bump your head on any parts of the path, which is also a good thing. We don't want any sort of brain damage climbing the tree. And we will eventually reach the top. If you know these rules, then you can kind of just completely, you can continue the path forever, so to speak. However, we are going to end the path in a specific place, and I want to make sure. I don't know if we've went too high yet. I think we're going to finish this up on the next rotation. So, I think as we get to the front of the tree, we might have even went too high, to be honest. I don't know about this. Hang on. So, okay, so here we go. Hang on, where is the front of the tree? Oh, we completely, we went too far. Ah, that's fine anyway. We can kind of just leave it like that if we want anyway. Okay, I went too far with the spiral, but that's fine. It looks fine as it is. I mean, you could even just continue going around and around and around anyway. But anyway, now that we have wrapped it around 3 times, you can see if you count from the bottom, 1, 2, 3. That third time, we want to play, or on the back, you could even have a similar sort of deal, right? So if you wanted to on the back, you could even like knock knock and then climb up. Oh, that could even be a secret way to get up the back. That's kind of a cool idea. So yeah, this works, right? So we can, yeah, we get up here, and then this could be the way. Why aren't I climbing? Have I got flight on? No, there we go. So that maybe that's the only way that you get up to the back. Maybe that's kind of cool. Okay, I didn't design it that way, but this has worked out nicely. So those are your 2 options. I like the secret entrance coming onto the back of the platform. So now that we have done that, ladies and gentlemen, what we're now going to do is decorate the tree a little bit. So we're going to add a couple of branches. Branch number 1 is on the right side in between spiral 1 and 2. You want to make sure that you have 2 blocks worth of head height. So you're going to want to start the branch about here. Branch is simple. Just place a few oak woods coming out from the tree, then maybe like 1 on top, and then maybe, and you don't even have to get too fancy with it. Something like that would be fine. Make sure it looks a little bit pointy like that. I want you to do a similar thing as we come up here. So where can we do this? We can place one here. Actually, yeah, we can place one coming out from here. So like, just place a few oak woods. Maybe this time we like place down and out like that, right? And then we place some oak leaves. You can add these going all the way around the treehouse. It's just that the treehouse is mostly visible from the front. So I think that that's where I'm going to focus my attention. I'm not going to add any branches to the back, although you absolutely could. So, you know, something like that balances the treehouse out quite a bit. A cool thing to do to these is add some lime carpet and some green carpet to them. So if you've got the extra resources, if you add a little bit of lime carpet and green carpet, it adds a bit of colour variety to the branch. It just makes it look a little bit more interesting, in my opinion. What we're also going to do is add some glass to the trunk, only on the front though. So we're going to add glass in a few choice places. So for instance, I'm going to add a little bit of glass here on the front of the tree. So, you know, just a little bit of glass in between the rows of oak wood. And then maybe here, same sort of spot coming up the middle of the tree. It just makes the tree a little bit brighter on the inside. It's pretty much the whole goal of the thing. I'm also going to hang, I use this decoration on every treehouse, and I'm not going to apologize for it because I love it so much. I'm going to hang some glowstone from a few places on the treehouse. So like from this branch, for instance, gonna hang a couple of some oak fence, glowstone on the end, oak trapdoors around it. This decoration is so simple. I love it. I'm pretty much probably going to add it to every single treehouse. It's bright, it's cool, I like it. That's the end of it. I'm gonna hang probably one from this branch here. I might hang it directly from the branch. And you know, you want to vary the height of these. That's a thing. So you know, you don't want them all to hang to the same height in the altitude, but you know, however you do it, as long as they're not all dangling from the same height and same places, it should be all right. And, you know, 2 is fine if you want. You can hang it off the branches, or you can hang a couple off the platform as well. I'll hang one off the platform, probably about here, why not? And I'm going to place a slab to balance it out. You'll see what I mean in a second, but probably about that far down, and then a glowstone oak trapdoors all the way around the glowstone. Makes it look quite good. And then like from the front, you'll be able to see it kind of just dangles, and it just looks cool. It looks like it's hanging off of nothing though, so you're going to want to place like an oak wood slab just to kind of give it something to grip onto. That looks great. Now, not only that, you might also want to choose to place a little bit of oak leaves around your tree. So for instance, like around the bottom a little bit. Oh, that reminds me of something else as well. Maybe a little bit around the bottom, maybe in a couple of places you're not going to bang your head on them, going around the top of the tree, something like that's a bit close, something like this, you know, just kind of like you want to balance this out. By the way, you don't want to do it like on every single like opportunity that you get to place it. You're just going to want to balance it out a little bit. I think you can get around that, so that's actually fine. But you guys get the idea. Like, it's a cool little decoration to add to your tree if you so choose that you want to do that. And not only that, what else can you do to the tree? And I'm trying to I'm trying my best not to do the top of the tree yet, because that is the longest part. So also a little bit of cool decoration. I'm going to need the oak wood fence. We're going to use a hoe, iron shovel, we're going to use bucket. We need stone slabs for this, maybe even a little bit of torches to keep things nice and bright a little bit. And I don't know, we'll need some leaves, maybe even a little bit of carpet too, I guess. And oh, we also need the seeds, so maybe I'll dump the carpet and I'll grab the seeds. So what I'm getting at here is at the bottom of the tree, I'm going to add a pool just to the left of the tree, and it's going to be kind of like a banana shape, really. And it's just kind of going to hug the left side of the tree house a little bit. It's actually a little bit bigger than what I wanted, but you guys can kind of get the whole gist of it. So something like that might be good. Maybe a little bit wider, perhaps. Maybe something like that. And I want it to come in a little bit. I want it to have a bit more of a shape to it. So something like this might look good. There we go. That's not too bad. So I kind of want to have like a curvy pool on the left side of this. And on the right side of the base of the treehouse, I'm kind of just going to create an oak leaf area. There's a similar sort of shape to the pool, just to balance it out a little bit. And this is going to be a farming area. Okay, so I'm going to place a little bit of a path going around this right part that kind of just shows the area's been walked on and what have you. And then I'm going to plant some seeds here. So I'm just going to hoe the area a little bit, and then I'm going to add some seeds, and that'll grow as we're doing the top of the build, and it'll look quite good. Like, you don't even have to do like all of the grass parts. Like, it wants to look a little bit you know, it doesn't want to look like the most taken care of farm in the world, you know? It just wants to, it just wants to add a little bit of flavour. I might even bone meal around too. On this left side, I'm going to dig out all of the grass blocks inside of the stone slab pool, and I'm going to fill the inside of this in with water. And if you like, something cool that you can do, where is it, is you can add a couple of glowstone into the base of the pool. And when I say pool, I mean, you know, fishing, whatever. It is just like a cool, it adds a little bit more colour around the treehouse, and it just looks a little bit nicer. So you can see it just kind of makes the area look a little bit more survivally. I'm also going to add some oak fence left and right of the entrance coming up to meet the platform, like this. Just kind of highlights the entrance a little bit. And I'm going to have a couple of stone brick slabs leading into the entrance as well. So, you know, some sort of like broken path sort of deal. Something like that, you know, will look just fine. I mean, we can even like extend it out a little bit if we so want to. Maybe something like that. You know, that looks fine. And the treehouse is looking really good at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. We've done loads to it, and we're kind of getting to the point where we're going to have to do the top. But first, I'm just going to add a couple of torches at the top of the treehouse like this, just left and right of the entrance, just to kind of highlight it a bit. And I think I'm going to place them in the same position on the back as well, like that. And then obviously this back part of the treehouse, you could hide chests and stuff up here, or maybe some armor or an ender chest or something fun like that, because there'll be no other way to get to that point without climbing up and around the top of the treehouse, which is kind of cool. Anyway, ladies and gents, this is a part that I've not been looking forward to. Let's do the top of the treehouse. This is going to require oak leaves and maybe a little bit of glowstone, because it makes a slight bit of difference. So all the way up at the top of the treehouse, we want to have a massive circle of oak leaves. Now, the easiest way to do this is to first of all place a layer of oak leaves on top of the oak woods that we have at the top of the treehouse, like this. And then we want to extend one of the sides out, like this, and it wants to be level with the stone slabs of the platform, you can see. And the goal is to place oak leaves in the same manner that we placed the stone slabs. Okay? So we're creating the same shape that we did. Hang on. The reason that I'm talking in chunks is because I'm trying to concentrate and make sure that this is right. And the reason for this is to make sure that the leaves of the tree are at least as wide as the top of the platform. Otherwise, it looks a little bit weird. A little bit. I say a little. It looks a lot weird. So we'll have an even shape all the way around. Then we want to make it bigger than the platform. So the way to do this is, of course, the same way that we extended the platform in the first place, which means to place oak leaves all the way around the top. And honestly, 1 or 2 layers of this is fine. So, you know, as long as it keeps lining up, and it doesn't even have to line up, 1 or 2 layers is fine. That's one. Let's add it. Then we've got to start adding another layer, and the way to do this is very simple. 1 row above and 1 row inside of the leaves. All you've got to do is add another layer of oak leaves. That's all you've got to do, right? So this is how you add height to the tree. I did it wrong there. There we go. This is how you add height to the tree. You just... It's kind of like the same shape that the platform is. You can kind of see how it's a bit bigger. You just leave 1 row going all the way around, and you place leaves. But here's what you're going to want to do at the same time as this. You're going to want to plant a couple of glowstones around the tree, around the inside the tree. That'll keep it nice and bright, and at night it'll look really cool. Okay, so a couple of glowstones as you're doing this. Another thing to mention is the fact that you don't want it even. So you don't want it to look all just normal like this, right? So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add some oak leaves to the side of this to mess it up. You don't want it to be the same all the way around. You want it to look normal. You want it to look natural. like this. This is how you start by doing it, right? You just add patches. And then underneath, we're going to want to add some as well. So we want to add patches of, and it might be better to fill in this base layer at the bottom. It might be better to fill in the very first layer of oak leaves, as that will help us to shape the bottom and the rest of it. Really, it'll help us to, basically it'll make it easier for us to mess up the bottom of this. So you're going to want to add patches of leaves and leaves and leaves and leaves, and you want to do it in a random manner, preferably. Like you don't, as I say, leaves are very, very random. You don't want to have kind of like a predictable pattern. But sometimes the best way to start it off is to start off with a predictable pattern like a circle. And then underneath is just to add what I would call random patches of leaves. Now, I'm not going to do a perfect job of this. As a matter of fact, it'll probably look horrible as I'm doing it in the tutorial, but the way to start this off is just to literally just add random patches of leaves underneath and around. It doesn't want to look normal. The more layers that you add, the more random it is, the better it's going to look as well. So, you know, that's kind of like the bottom for now, right? Like that, the bottom of that doesn't look too bad at the moment. You're gonna also want to do it to the sides as well, because that'll help to shape the side of the tree. Like you're gonna want to add some random blocks to the side. You can even have a couple of random low-hanging ones, kind of like that, right? So like, just add a couple there, and a few patches of leaves. Just you know what I'm saying. So it looks nice and random like that. I mean, that doesn't look too bad. But what's also going to help us do this, and I want it to kind of look a little bit more disc-shaped, so I kind of want to extend it out on the side a little bit. What's also going to help to do this is the fact that we're also going to be adding more layers to the top as well. And as we go along by doing this, I want you to make it messy. I don't want you to make it nice and uniform. Unless that's the way you want to do it, I mean, and then mess it up, it's completely up to you. But it doesn't have to be perfect going around. All you've got to do is just add more and more layers and layers and layers and layers. Probably, I would say about a height of 5 or 6 is kind of what I'm going for. Something similar to that. So that's about a height of 3 or so, right? That's not looking too bad. If you want to make it look denser, you've got to add some oak leaves to the middle as well, if you want to make it look a bit denser from the outside, because the oak leaves, the only problem with them is they are quite opaque, meaning you can quite see through them. But if you just add some in the middle, you know, it'll look just fine. So again, just add more and more layers. That's all I'm going to be doing. I'll probably, you know what, I'm going to speed up the process of me doing this, but I'm going to leave it so that you can kind of see me doing it as well. I'm just going to be repeating the same thing that I've been spouting for the past, for the past few minutes. But this is the strategy that we're going to be using to complete the top of the tree. I want you guys to do the same thing. So let's do this. You know what, that fast forward part probably didn't even last that long, because now I'm just going to fill in the top of the tree now that I'm here. I'm just going to kind of like mess up the inside with the oak leaves. You don't have to 100% fully fill it in at all. You can just add random leaves around. Like I said, you don't have to go crazy with it. And we can also just fill the top of this in using the oak leaves. That's all you got to do. When it comes to the top, I mean, you don't have to go so crazy. If you want to add carpet to the top of the tree, you're more than welcome as well. But I think that I've achieved quite like a random effect. Yeah, that looks fine. That's great. So hopefully you guys have done a similar sort of thing, and it just looks messy. That's the whole point. The messier it looks, the less artificial it looks. Artificial tree houses are fine. There's no, it's fine if you don't mind the leaves looking like they're man-made. But I kind of like the idea that somebody's came across the regular tree and they have just, they've made it their home. That's kind of what I like. And one last thing that you might like to do as well, I'm going to come inside like this, and you can turn the top of the tree into a bit of an extra room if you so wanted to. So the way that you would do it, really simple, you just continue the set of ladders coming all the way up into the top of the tree like this, just into the leaves. Okay, we're going to have to add a platform in here as well, like where the top of the oak woods are, like this. Yeah, we can climb up, just destroy that, and then we can climb up and in, and then you can kind of turn this into a room if you want to, you know, add a couple of extra hidden valuables and stuff. So there's plenty of layers to this treehouse. I mean, this part, you know, and you can destroy blocks here and there, and you can kind of, you know, you can really expand the room as you like. You can destroy as much oak wood as you have to make just to make as much room as you want. But you know, it's not a bad-sized room. And again, you've got more space up there, and you've got more space out of the back. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that we've kind of done building, right? I think we're kind of done. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very proud of you. That's been kind of like a longer build than I expected. So this is what the house will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. The only difference between mine and yours is that I have now added a little bit of an interior. I've added a couple of chests, a few beds. I've cleaned up the outside just a little bit. I've added some more torches and stuff and some details to the platform. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, we've got a very, very similar house, and I'm hoping that you guys can now take yours into the next step of making it yours. If you have enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps me and the channel out so much. If you've made it all the way to the end, please do remember to share the video with a friend. Sharing is caring. One of the best things you can do other than liking the video. If you do want to check out any more builds by me, I've made so many more tree houses and so many more survival bases, modern houses, cartoon houses, all sorts of stuff. Check out the card system and the description below. I've been talking for far too long, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you so much. I'm going to see if I can just jump off and hit the pool. Goodbye. Nailed it.